Welcome back. We're taking a look at how Canadians cast their ballots last night.
This election could have gone any number of ways, so it was especially important to get the young vote. But the long weekend meant that students had to prioritize. Between finding time to study, work, and eat turkey, some students found it hard to find the time to get out and vote. Bailey White has more.
On a typical autumn morning, the streets around Fredericton's University campus are busy with students in their cars and on foot. But not on this Monday. It's Thanksgiving, and the streets around this part of town are all but abandoned. The long weekend offers students a chance to get out of town for a few days. It's just another in a long list of reasons students don't vote. Chelsea McCarthy is a third-year student at UNB. She wants to go pre-med, so studying takes up most of her time. But when offered a chance to get away from it all for a weekend, Chelsea is happy to take it, knowing full well that by doing so, she'll have a lot of catching up to do on Tuesday. And that doesn't leave any room in her schedule to vote.
Going away for the long weekend meant I wasn't going to be studying during the long weekend. And so now I have to come back and study today and tomorrow all day for my midterms on Wednesday.
This study by Statistics Canada explains that of all Canadians who have voted in at least one election, only 59% of people aged 22 to 29 voted in the last election. Compare that with 85% of people aged 45 to 64 who voted last time around. The study offers no explanation as to why the younger vote is difficult to maintain, and while there are dozens of websites geared at young voters, the demographic remains hard to capture.
Liberal leader Stéphane Dion has perhaps been the most vocal about asking for the student vote. However, it seems no matter who asks for the vote, this demographic is going to be difficult to reach. What is clear is that, for many students, Turkey Day takes precedence over voting day. For Stu Journalism, this is Bailey White.
Thanks, Bailey. Now we turn to our political correspondent, Corinne Frost.
She's hanging out with Melissa Waugh from the St. Thomas University Student Union to discuss youth voting some more.
Thanks, Jane. So, Melissa, how do you feel the student population getting out to vote went this year?
We had a few early voter registration days that went over very well. We had our registration day for students who wanted to vote in Fredericton, and the officials from Elections Canada said it went really well. And then we had our National Voter Day. That's for anyone who wants to vote in any riding but Fredericton. We had over 200 students turn out, which they were very impressed with. And then yesterday, all day, there was very, very big lines up at the polls in the Students' Union building. So I think it went fairly well.
And do you think the Student Union promoting the election via posters and stuff helped get the word out there?
I hope so. We used all the resources we had. We used our email list. We have access to all the student email lists, and of course the posters and the Facebook groups, and of course the events we had on campus, like Politics and Popcorn, and then the results party last night. I think it all helped in some form. Unfortunately, we won't have final numbers until probably for another month or two.
All right. Thank you very much, Melissa. Back to you, Jane and Chris.
With Election Day behind us, it's hard to question Keith Ashfield's decision to pull out of an on-campus debate last week. But for at least a little while, it did ruffle some feathers. Stu Corbett has more.
Over 300 people gathered in the UNB Students' Union building to watch the candidates for the Fredericton riding duke it out. The constituents were there. The tough questions were there. Even the merchandise was there. But there was one thing missing: the Conservative Party candidate, Keith Ashfield. The debate was organized by the UNB and St. Thomas Students' Unions, along with several other sponsors. When asked to attend the debate, Mr. Ashfield declined, not once, but twice. The first time he was asked, he said he couldn't attend because 3 debates in 1 week was too much. When a group of students followed up with him, he changed his story to not being able to attend because of an event he had to attend in a French community. Melissa Waugh is the Vice President of Education for the St. Thomas Students' Union. She said that the flip-flopping answers were not necessary.
If it was the case that he did have something to attend in the French community, if he would have told us that from the start, we would have gladly worked something out to have the debate at a different time so he could attend.
Some have speculated that the Conservatives have been told by Prime Minister Stephen Harper to cut down on the debates. Ashfield did attend another debate put on by St. Thomas University on Tuesday and has made his presence known in Fredericton in other ways as well. Miss Waugh thinks that regardless of Ashfield's absence, the Fredericton riding is up in the air.
Ashfield wouldn't comment on his policy or his party's policy for debates. Whether this will affect him from getting into Parliament or not will be up to the voters on October 14th. For Stu Journalism, this is Stu Corbett reporting from Fredericton.
Thanks, Stu. Great story. It's time for another break, but we'll be back with more election coverage.